Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
Today, we'll have Beth's whirlwind trip to Disney World for the holidays. That's coming up on this episode 493 of WDW Prep to Go. Hello and welcome to WDW Prep to Go, where we talk strategy and ideas and have lots and lots of trip reports. I am your host, Shannon Albert from WDWPrepSchool.com. And if you can't tell by my voice, I've been a little sick. I brought home a cold from the cruise and have spent most of the week after in bed because I've just been so tired. And in a job that requires my voice to be on podcasts, Patreon, social media, video, or whatever, it means a lot of lost time because I just don't sound right, but the show must go on. So I have waited as long as I can to record this intro and outro, and this is where we ended up. So today is a whirlwind trip to Disney World. Beth decided she wanted to do all the holiday things, and she picked a time when multiple events were available. So we're going to hear from her in just a minute. As always, a reminder to follow on social media as well as go to the website. So many people don't make the connection between the website and the podcast, but all the things we talk about here, we have articles about as well. And that often includes a lot of graphics and charts and things to help you plan your trip. So if you have questions about how things work, please head to the website and use the search tool to find what you're looking for. I think that's it for the intro. Here are my conversations with Beth. Welcome to the podcast, Beth.
Thank you so much for having me, Shannon. I'm excited to be here.
We're talking on Friday, November 28th, spending our Black Friday together.
We are.
You're headed to Disney World.
I am. I head to Disney World in exactly a week.
Okay, so December what to what?
December the 5th through the 7th. It's a short trip.
Okay.
A whirlwind 48 hours.
Okay, fun. This is called balance because we just had the Japan trip report that was very long, and so we balance it with these shorter ones because of the time commitment. But who's going on this trip?
It is me, my husband Brandon, and then our best friends Travis and Megan. So an adults trip.
Okay, now I have to ask what brought on this 48-hour plan at this time of year.
Okay, so we are like everyone. We're big Disney people. And I've had in my head since they came out with Jollywood, I guess this is the third year, that I wanted a weekend to do it all. I wanted to do the Christmas party, Jollywood, and Candlelight Processional and see all the decorations.
Oh.
Yeah. So I convinced my husband this was the year, and we are DVC owners. I'm kind of jumping around. So we had to book this 11 months ago because it's a pretty popular weekend for DVC because it's before the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And so the two of us were going. So we had that set. And then this summer, we actually took our best friends and their kids along with our kids for their kids' first Disney trip. So we had this big, wonderful trip in June. They had a wonderful time. And a couple months afterwards, they had the Disney blues. And we said, well, we already have the room. Why don't you just come with us? So it kind of all just fell in place.
So you guys did the whole family over the summer, and now it's just the adults.
Just the adults.
But the fact that they want to go back with you is a testament to how much, they must trust your planning.
I think it's funny. Two of us are very much planners. The other two are enjoyers. And so I do think we're a good balance, and there's one of us in each couple. And so I think it makes for a good balance, though I definitely think we're going to test their stamina on this trip.
Well, I often say it's a marathon, not a sprint, but in your case, it is a sprint.
It's a sprint.
So I was just looking at the calendar
Yeah.
because you said you want to do the parties. So I can see that during your short trip, there is a party every night.
Party every night. So yeah, we're hitting it all.
Okay. So Let's talk through it then. Which Friday, December 5th, are you driving or flying?
We are flying. We're in Virginia, but we're about 2 hours from an airport. So our day will start at 8 in the morning, but our flight isn't till noon out of Richmond.
Okay.
And it's a direct flight. So
Okay.
we will leave at noon, and we'll probably get there between 2 and 2:15, depending on air traffic.
All right. So you have a bit of a drive to get to Richmond, but then it's direct.
Yeah.
And then you arrive at MCO around 2:00. And
Yep.
then where are you headed?
So because it's less technically between airport to airport, it's like right under 48 hours. We got a good deal for a rental car. So we're going the Alamo route, so we have more control over our timing.
Mhm.
So get off the plane. I think we're not going to have checked bags because we're not there very long. Get right to the rental car. And then again, just depending on how things go with landing, I'm undecided if we'll go and park at the hotel or if we're headed straight to the TTC to get towards Magic Kingdom because we're going to the Christmas party the first night.
Okay. So you may go directly to Magic Kingdom or you might go to your hotel. Which hotel are you staying at?
We are at Beach Club, and that is our one of our home resorts for DVC.
Okay. Might go direct.
Right
Okay.
on the border of what I'm just not quite sure because if we get there at 3, I could be convinced to go ahead and park the car and take the bus so we don't have to worry about it at night. But if anything heads behind schedule, I think I want to head straight to the TTC.
Okay. You have options.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And then at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, what are your priorities?
They have never done a Christmas party. We have. I have very much pumped it up to them that like best parade, best fireworks. So I think all the shows are going to be a priority. My friend Megan she enjoys rides, but she's not a big ride person. So there's no expectation to do Tron or anything like that. I think we're a character at a distance type people. So we'll probably want to see the ones we can see from afar, but I don't think we'll stand in lines. So it's more ambiance and shows.
Well, so with that in mind, it feels like you have a little bit more flexibility on arrival.
Yes, and that's why I'm trying to keep expectations a little lower, just in case. Just I know things are going better at the airport, but I'm just trying to be safe.
You have options.
Yes.
Yeah, but you don't have to arrive at 3 or 4 o'clock.
No, we don't have to. And most of what I have planned for the evening is really like you all tell us during that crossover time. It's really just hitting rides. Especially like Jingle Cruise, since technically that's an all day, every day thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the first thing we actually want to hit isn't till 8:15 with the Frozen show. So I think that gives us plenty of time to play with. We also will need to eat because I'm sure airport food and a quick morning will be hungry. I think I saw that maybe Cosmic Rays during the party is a mobile order.
Yes, it is.
So that's definitely on my list to help with time.
And they have really good food. Like
the food looks great.
It is. And so although eating during the party, may not be the best use of time for some people, it's kind of quick there and there's entertainment. They have a whole room just with entertainment. And to us, it feels kind of like multitasking.
Yes, I like that idea. So that's
delicious.
Good. That's what I need to hear because my husband was curious.
Yeah, it is good. They have a special, menu that's just during the party. So if you wait till 7, you'll get that. There's no mobile ordering between 6 and 7, though.
So I made that mistake during the Halloween party, and my family was not happy with me. So I will not make that mistake again.
I know. It's like a black pit. You cannot mobile order during that crossover time. Okay.
Yeah. So that's that part. And then, like I said, probably try to catch the Frozen show. We're going to follow kind of the recommendation of doing the Mickey's Most Merry celebration right before the fireworks at 10. And then the other part that's kind of up in the air for me is the parade. I know we're going to the 11 o'clock. I'm not sure where we're going to be. I need to ask them how important Snope is to them because obviously it's magical to be closer to Main Street. However, we do have an 11:40 Beacon Barrel. So part of me wants to maybe be towards parade start so then we can just work our way there.
Okay, so that would put you in Frontierland.
Yes.
But that's more relaxed over there.
It is more relaxed, and I have in my head that 11:40 means we'll get to walk out with lower crowds and have pretty pictures of everything lit up, so
Yeah, that's kind of a nice plan because so many people will be leaving, like
yeah.
after the parade, directly after.
Yes, I hope that gets us a little bit of time, and we're not too tired yet.
Yeah, I think it's fun. Okay, so is that the end of your Friday?
That is the end of Friday, other than, I guess, to be determined if we have to take all of our stuff in after a party to our hotel room.
Yes. All right, Saturday, December 6th. I know how it's going to end, but how does it begin?
Well, as of right now, because again, I don't want to be an over pusher, I have a couple different options for breakfast for us to have a seating at the 5 o'clock candlelight processional. So it's either going to be La Creperie or Garden Grill. It's either like 9 or 10. So I'm going to weigh our options and then get rid of one, obviously.
Okay, so you have a breakfast reservation that is a dining package, Candlelight Processional dining package.
Yes.
Okay, got it. And you'll decide which one you want to keep for that. Who is the narrator of this day?
Ashley Eckstein.
Okay.
Eckstein. Is that right? Did I say that right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I know who she is.
Yes, we are a Star Wars family. So my 9-year-old son, if there's anything he's jealous about on this trip, it's her.
Uh-huh.
So
Yes, that will be fun. Is she new this year?
she did it last year as well.
Did she? Okay.
I think so.
All right. Okay, so breakfast.
Breakfast.
Then what?
And then again, this is like in a way, I'm doing a lot of my logistical like know-how, but there's a lot about this trip that's so different for me because as a family, we're very much lightning lane people. We have kids, we got to keep them moving. We have only one individual lightning lane on this trip, and that's it. So it's very laid back in a way for me. So again, there's some food items we want from Festival of the Holidays. We want to enjoy ambiance and decor. We want to see some of the narrations at the different countries and World Showcase. So it's really pretty open-ended. The only thing we have for sure before candlelight in the evening is my husband and I have a 12:25 Guardians because that was my one non-negotiable. I have to get on Guardians on this trip.
Yeah, I assumed when you said you had a single pass lightning lane, it was probably for Guardians. But the people traveling with you don't want to go on it?
No, my friend Megan was like, if the choice is between being near the lake and just having ambiance and a drink or riding Guardians, I'll choose the first one. So I said, to each their own.
Yeah, great. So breakfast, Festival of the Holidays, Guardians, Lightning Lane, and
Yes.
Candlelight Processional. Is there anything else in between those?
I really am hoping that I want to confirm this. I'm going to ask you. Voices of Liberty they're the Dickens carolers usually during the holidays, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm hoping we can catch one of those. I really enjoy seeing them. I think our friends will. So that would be the only thing that I'm going to try to work in there. And we have plenty of options. So
Yeah, that would be a good afternoon one since they stop sometime in the late afternoon, early evening.
I was to say, I want to say it's like 3:45, which we could do that and then kind of be towards the back of the park for our 5 o'clock candlelight processional.
Yeah, that would be good timing. Okay. And then do you head from the Candlelight Processional to Hollywood Studios?
We absolutely do. We'll go right out International Gateway and hop on the Skyliner and get over to the party.
Okay. Is this your first time at Jollywood Nights or not?
It is for Brandon and I, it's our second time. For our friends, it's obviously their first. So,
Okay. And what are you looking forward to doing at Jollywood Nights?
again, mostly just performances and food. My husband and I really enjoyed it. We went to the first year, and I think we just really loved the vibe. We also, like I said, we're Star Wars people, and there was something super magical about nobody being back there. So I think it's just taking it all in, enjoying different things. And again, the way I've kind of set up our schedule is that we'll have more free time in the beginning. Most of the shows we're trying to hit start after 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with how they've improved it.
I'm excited about that because I know how much we liked it, and arguably it was not the best. It was them working out the kinks. So I think we'll really enjoy it now.
Even last year, which was much better, they still had some issues where there's weird like dead spaces, and it was just awkward flow. And I just feel like they've gotten it finally.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah. So I think maybe Galaxy's Edge will be a little bit busier than you remember, partially because Chewbacca's back there meeting.
Yes.
Yes, but still so beautiful.
Yes.
And not as busy as the rest of the park.
Not as busy. And so, yes, we will do all of that. As far as shows, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam is at 10. I have to go see Holidays in Hollywood at 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we end, we may or may not end with What's This. So I don't know that they're huge Nightmare Before Christmas people. We really enjoyed it the first year, so we'll see how we're feeling.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy ending Jollywood Nights with shows as well. They're less busy.
Exactly. So that's the very loose plan.
Okay. And then Sunday, December 7th, you leave.
We leave. So the plan here, our flight is at, try to pull it up. I think it's at 3. Yeah, it's at 3:15. So the plan is that we're going to get up, go to breakfast. Right now, I have 2 reservations, either at Steakhouse 71 or Whispering Canyon, because I really want to get them over to the monorail loop in that area to see decorations. So I'm not 100% sure where we're going to start. Part of me is feeling like Whispering Canyon, since it's the outlier, and see, I mean, you can't go any more beautiful than Wilderness Lodge at Christmas. So start them there in the morning and then kind of see what we can hit on the loop before we have to head out. The only thing I'm trying to figure out there logistically is, I know typically they say if you have a dining reservation and you have like 3 hours you can park. And I want to be mindful of what they say, because technically we have 4 hours. So I'm not sure if we're going to leave the vehicle and feel a little uncomfortable, or if we're going to move it to the TTC.
Mm-hmm.
So
they won't care about your car. But what we do, if we do have a car, is we just park kind of far away. Like, we're not getting them in the way of the guests.
We could do it.
Yeah, it won't be a big deal. As long as the parking lot's not full.
Perfect. That's what we'll check and do. So then I think the way I'll be leaning is we'll go to Whispering Canyon, do Wilderness Lodge, and then head over towards the Magic Kingdom at that point of the day, bus, because the boat won't be running. Is that right? So does it run in the morning?
I'm not sure about the timing.
I guess we could do boat to Magic Kingdom. You just can't do it where it stops at the other resort. Yeah. And so I'll double check that. We'll pick whatever looks like it's going to be the best option, and then hit ideally all 3 hotels before we have to scurry back.
Yes. Scurry back, drop off your car.
Yeah.
And then go home. What a fun trip.
It should be really fun.
I love it. You're packing so much in. And I'm also jealous because not all this stuff was open when we were there last time.
I understand. I know. I've been watching, as an aside, I just got back from the transatlantic cruise. So I couldn't see anything that was happening the beginning of November. And so I've been trying to catch up and see all the progression of the decorations and where everything's at. So it'll be exciting to see everything set up and there.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Well, I hope you have the best time, and I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Thanks so much.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
'Tis the season for identity theft. This time of year, most of us are checking off our holiday gift lists. But guess what? Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on them. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second and alerts you to threats you could miss by yourself, even if you keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements. If your identity is stolen, your own US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. And all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. The last thing you want to do this holiday season is face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other financial losses from identity theft all alone. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code IHEART. Or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
Welcome back from your trip, Beth.
Thank you, Shannon.
We're talking on Monday, December 15th. I just got back from my cruise, and so we had to wait about a week to talk after your trip. How did it go?
It was wonderful.
It was?
Yes. All the Christmas magic.
Okay, I'm happy about that. Okay, let's talk through it because you said Friday, December 5th, you were flying into Orlando in the afternoon.
Yes, and this is where we already pivot.
Okay, how did you pivot?
So starting on Wednesday leading up to the trip, it became clear it was going to snow here in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had mentioned in the pre-trip, we are about 2 hours from the airport. So not worried about the airport, but worried about the drive itself, especially we have to cross a mountain. So I was very aware. And by Wednesday evening, I get home from work and I'm telling my husband, I don't want to be that crazy friend, but I think I need to be that crazy friend who totally changes our plans. And for me, the biggest thing was with party tickets, especially, we had put a lot of money into the trip for them and for us. And my worst fear was because it's a smaller airport and we typically fly JetBlue, it's one flight a day. So if they cancel our flight on Friday, what if we can't get on the Saturday flight? What if we just don't get down there?
And your trip is short, so it's not like you have a whole week to try to be we'll just move it to the end of our trip.
Yes, exactly. So we text them and let them know we're going to look into what it would be to change our trip to get down there.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it worked out that weird with JetBlue, I'm sure I could have called, but again, I was in panic mode, that because it was a round trip, if trying to do it through the app or online, it wanted me to cancel the whole package, which I was not trying to do. So we decided to just quickly grab a flight on a different airline from the same airport. It was Spirit, so it was very inexpensive for us to hop on there for Thursday evening. So a little earlier than normal. The hope being it was supposed to start Thursday night into Friday. That way we would avoid the drive or the snow at the airport. So we grabbed that, and then my husband...
So you kept your JetBlue round trip and then just booked Spirit?
I did for now. We'll get to the later part. But for now, everyone was okay spending, it was about $600 for the four of us to jump on a Spirit flight. So everybody was okay with that.
Okay.
And then my husband, through work, has Hilton Honors. So he got on there, found us a deal for a hotel for Thursday night. And then the fun part was, wait a minute, now I'm going to have all of Friday to play with. So I quickly grabbed us a reservation for Boma for breakfast on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you flew in Thursday evening?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes. So we left from home at about 5:30 on Thursday, got to the airport around 8-ish, and we were on the plane taking off by 9:45.
Okay. And then you stayed at a Hilton. And then on Friday, instead of flying in, you started the day at Boma?
Yeah. Yes. Yep. We woke up in Orlando. We stayed actually out near Universal. It just ended up being the best affordable option for us to grab a hotel room last minute. So we have a bit of a drive in to Disney. Not bad. But on the drive, while it was heavily snowing at home, I think they said we got 4 or 5 inches here. So, like, good call. We jumped on the phone and called JetBlue because that flight had not taken off yet to come down here, and told them that we needed to cancel the first leg of our round trip. And they were very nice about it. We got a nice credit that we have a year to use, which we will not have a problem using. So, yeah, it worked out very well.
And then your Alamo car rental, were you able to move it?
Yes, that was the other thing. And because I did the Costco Alamo, I did have to completely cancel it and then rebook. But it was crazy, like $30 more. We got a nicer car for a longer time. So it worked out. The demand must not have been high when I rebooked. So it was win-win all around.
Okay, so when you arrived a day early, you still had your car, and you were able to drive that car from your Hilton to Disney World.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah, we left the hotel around 9 a.m. and got to Jumbo House at like 9:30, and our reservation wasn't till 10. So again, the idea was this was something I wasn't planning on. It was a whole nother place they got to see at Christmas that we weren't going to see. So we checked out the cute gingerbread animals and explored just, around the hotel outside. As I had mentioned pre-trip, they went with us in June, both our families. So their youngest, their son, is very into animals, loved Animal Kingdom. So it was fun to be able to show them the resort and them kind of daydream about when they come back as a family that this would be a really good option for them.
I feel like because Animal Kingdom's a little harder to get to, Animal Kingdom Lodge, that people don't talk about it enough with the decorations, but it's pretty.
It's so pretty. I remember one of the first times we did Christmas Christmas at Disney, my husband and I went out to Animal Kingdom. Same thing. Like you have to make an effort to get there to the lodge. But I just remember being blown away. Like, it's so pretty.
It is. And then you get to go have some good food too.
Yes. So we checked in about 10 minutes before the reservation. It did take them a little. I love a late breakfast reservation at Disney, but sometimes they can get a little busy. So this was an example of them being busy. So it took about 25-30 minutes for them to call us, which was fine. We were happy to wait. Again, free time we weren't planning to have, so it was good. But yes, wonderful meal. They loved it. They have some really good drink options right now too, which was fun to try some of the things that weren't there the last time we were there. And yeah, had a nice meal that we finished around 11:30.
Okay.
Still had more time that we wouldn't have otherwise had.
Yeah, you still haven't hit your original arrival time.
No, not yet. So again, I was trying to think of things that we could do that wouldn't completely wear us out, but that we weren't otherwise going to get to do. So I decided we would head over to Disney Springs because, again, I wasn't going to prioritize it on a short trip, but now we have more time. So we got over there around 11:45 and basically just wandered the shops, checked out the decorations that we could, did a little window shopping in a few different places, got to hit up Amorette's and have a really yummy dessert that we weren't planning to have. So it was wonderful. And the weather was really nice still. It wasn't like hot. So it was great.
Nice. And then at some point, did you get to go to your hotel?
We did decide to head over to the hotel. Still hadn't heard that the room was ready, but we left around 2 and decided we would head over there, check to see if we could get in. And if not, just freshen up and head out to the party. Because again, since we were there early, I decided we were going to use the bus so we wouldn't have to drive at night. So we got there, headed to the front desk, still no room. But it was nice because, again, since we were 2 couples, we sorted out making sure their Magic Band went to their card, that kind of stuff. Got to see the beautiful gingerbread carousel and check all of that out, which they were blown away by. I mean, it is fun when I guess, at this point, I kind of know it's going to be there every year. So it was fun to see it through their eyes and be like, oh, yes, this is super amazing.
Yes. I know. I always think that too. It's a good reminder. Oh, yeah, this is really cool.
Yes. And so we did that. And then around 3, we had like still no room, decided to freshen up, and we decided to head actually to Ale and Compass and grab a drink before we hopped on the bus, which as Disney goes, at 3:15, we got the text that our room was ready, but it was fine. We were like, hey, it's ready. We know it's there. Checked out where it was so I would know logistically when we got back. And then at 3:20, we were heading out to the Yacht Club bus stop to head to Magic Kingdom.
And I was looking at the pre-trip notes, and you were debating going directly from the airport to Magic Kingdom. So it's fun that you had a little extra time.
It was. And like, I think it just, obviously we could have, drove there. It wouldn't have been a big deal, but I think it kind of took the pressure off. Everybody was very relaxed at that point. Just, again, we stay at Beach Club a lot, so I'm used to this, but I did make a note that we got on at 3:20 and it actually did not get to Magic Kingdom until 4 because it went to Beach Club where it picked up 3 scooters. So that did add some time. But again, we had plenty of time. I knew we were leaving and we would be okay. And I kind of wanted to miss that first rush anyways of everybody coming in. So it didn't impact us, but it was a solid 40 minutes that it took to get there.
It's a good reminder. Sometimes things can take a little while.
And so got there at 4. And like I said, it worked out perfectly. They had already let in like the crowd of people that usually are waiting. So we were able to walk right up and tap in and walk in. So it worked out well.
What'd you do when you went in? You told us beforehand, like the things like the shows, the parade, the fireworks were priorities. But at this point, none of that was happening.
I was going to say, lots of free time. So we decided to just pick rides that had low wait times and weren't ones we were trying to hit during the party. So we headed first to Pirates. It was a posted 5 and we waited 5. So it was exactly what we thought it would be. Then we decided to, while it was before it got dark, because that's the thing I think about this time of year is once it hits dark, it's very questionable if it's going to get cold. So we decided if we were going to do Tiana's, now is the time. So it was a posted 25-minute and we waited about 28 minutes. So went ahead and rode that while the sun was still out, which was a good choice because my friend Megan was like, I know I'm going to get the front row and I didn't bring my ponchos. And like, of course I should have. And she did. And she got soaking wet. So I'm glad we did it while it was still sunny and she could dry off a bit.
Yeah, that is good. And also, so far, the wait times have been accurate.
They have, yes. I have to say, like, nothing was super surprising. So it's good. While we were waiting for Tiana's, we started talking strategy because, again, like I told you, when we were at the Halloween party, I made the mistake of trying to order in that dead hour between close of park and party time. So we decided we were going to grab a snack to hold us until we could eat during the party because we wanted to hit up Cosmic Rays. So after we got off Tiana's, we split up and the guys went and got spring rolls at the spring roll cart. And we went and grabbed popcorn and I had to get the Christmas truck. It was so cute.
It is so cute. Was there a long line?
So I was surprised because everything I had seen, said that it would be. It was not short, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And the lady was definitely there with the clicker because I know they can run out. So, but no, it wasn't bad. And I think we actually got done before they did at the spring roll cart. So it wasn't too bad.
Can I ask you, what do you do with it when you get home?
It's a wonderful question. If I was in the room where it is, I would show you. I decorate with them. So we put them out. We have the ones from the last couple of years too that you turn and they're musical. So I have all of them around our tree.
Okay, so you use them as decoration.
Yes.
All right. I'm always curious because there's so many cute ones, and I'm like, I literally don't know what I would do with that.
It's harder for the regular ones. I can't say I've found a great use for them. A lot of them have become bath toys for the kids.
Yeah, because they just look like buckets.
Exactly. But the Christmas ones, I try to incorporate into decor.
It is very cute.
It is really cute. So I was glad I grabbed it. So then after we had our little break, we decided we were going to do the Jingle Cruise since that is all the time. And again, posted 35 and we waited 40. So not bad. Lots of fun. Loved the dad jokes. And so it was a good time.
And is it still before 7?
It is. So right now, when we got done, it was probably about 6:30.
Okay. You're in the dead hour.
We're in that dead hour.
You can't mobile order this time, but you're almost 30
So
minutes.
it's funny because then when we went to, or next we went to Haunted Mansion, which was a posted 15, we waited 30. So that one was a little off. But I think, again, it was because it was that in-between hour. Like, it's hard to kind of know what the times are. But I was watching my clock so that right at 7, I could place our mobile order.
So did you go from Haunted Mansion to Cosmic Rays then?
Yes. So we could have spent more time in the Fantasyland area, but it wasn't really our priority. So we were headed that way anyways. So yes, we again split up after we got off Haunted Mansion. And Megan's favorite character is Ariel, and she always has to go on The Little Mermaid. I felt like it was a sacrifice I could make not to go on it. So they went to ride Little Mermaid. We went to pick up the food.
Okay. And did you get the party exclusive stuff or stuff from their regular menu?
We did. So we got the party exclusive. Well, my husband and Megan did not. Travis and I, we got the turkey burger and the pot roast melt, and we split them. And they were delicious. I loved them. I was very happily surprised with Cosmic Rays.
I know. It didn't used to be good. And now it's like, well, we find ourselves there.
Yes. So we were very happy with the food. And again, it happens every time it's a kid-free trip, I think. Like, you get reminded of your kids. But it was fun to be able to watch the dance party with the Disney Junior characters. And my son was so obsessed with Vampirina when he was little. And so to watch her out there with all the little kids was just really sweet. And one of those moments that it made me really miss him.
How old is your son now?
He's 9. So definitely out of the Vampirina stage.
Yes, but I am not super in touch with what little kids are into right now, but I keep wondering if they're into those same characters.
It's funny. He's at that age, and I know other guests have talked about this, where he at home would like to act like he's only into Marvel and Star Wars and all the big guy stuff. But the minute we get there, he sure is happy to wave to Mickey and give hugs and all the things. So he's still in that really sweet age. When we're there, he eats it up.
But today's 4-year-olds, are they into Vampirina?
No. So I have a 5-year-old, and she's not into Vampirina at all.
Yeah, see? I feel like sometimes they keep the characters around a little longer, but they did just do away with the Disney Junior breakfast at Hollywood Studios. So maybe that's part of their transition. I don't know.
Makes sense. Yes.
Your son would have enjoyed it for nostalgic reasons.
I think he would have. So that was one we did for him. And then after that, it was about 7:40, 7:50. So we decided to take a bathroom break and then head out to grab a spot for the 8:15 Frozen show. So we walked right out of Cosmic Rays, went straight over. I would have said we were right on the edge of the spoke into Tomorrowland. And we stood right there against one of the fenced in grass areas and kind of leaned against the fence. So obviously we didn't get there super ahead of time to get a main spot, but it was a perfect side area because my concern was the parade was at 8:30 and I didn't want to get sandwiched in by everybody. So it was a good location.
So you hung out there for a bit.
Just a little. Yep. About 10 minutes. And then the show was at 8:15. Yep.
And how was it?
Oh, it's so adorable. And my friend Megan mentioned that I think I forgot how much it kind of references the holiday tradition special. And that's one that her kids love. So that was kind of her mom moment to really miss her little ones and kind of get teary-eyed during it. So, but it was very cute and very enjoyable. And it was, I guess it's about 10 minutes because by 8:26, we were headed to the People Mover.
As one does.
Yes. And it's perfect because Megan will not do Space Mountain. And I really wanted them to see the lights. So People Mover it is.
Exactly. I think Disney should call the People Mover some sort of holiday special.
They really should note it. And especially for people who don't want to do Space Mountain.
No, because you still get to see it.
Yes.
And the music. Hear the music.
Yes, exactly. So it was perfect. So we went and did that. And then it was probably a little after 8:30, not quite 8:45. So we decided that we weren't necessarily wanting to eat the cookies at all the cookie places, but because they're prepackaged, they make really good souvenirs to take home to the kids.
Yes, that's a great point.
So we hit up the one at the launching pad right there, and then we went over to Cosmic Rays, which in hindsight, I don't think I'd put two and two together that was a cookie spot, or we
It's
would have hit it while we were there.
It's a lot of things.
Yes.
It's like cookie spot, entertainment. Yeah, they got a lot going on.
So we hit those two up, packed them up for the kids, and then went to Tomorrowland Speedway.
Okay. So you saw it from the People Mover and you said, let's get on it.
Yes. And it was a posted 10. We waited 6 and we were off by 9:00-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, I think if you're ever going to ride it as an adult, this is the time.
it is. And I don't know what about the outside was right, but I did not smell the exhaust fumes too bad this time. So I don't know. The air was the right way that evening.
Yeah, we need to go back retroactively to December 5th. What was the humidity? What was the wind?
Yes, exactly. But it was very cute. So we enjoyed it. And then we were heading to get a spot in front of the castle for the 9:25 Mickey show, Mickey Most Merriest celebration. We decided, since we were there, to stop to look at the merchandise, right? I forget the name of the store, right there near Cosmic Rays.
Yeah. And I'm blanking because I'm exhausted, I think. But it is the better option.
Seemed really good, and it was not crowded at all. Like
that's the thing. They have the party merchandise, but it's not the Main Street crowds.
Exactly. And that was something, at least on this party, we really avoided Main Street. We'll get into it here in a second. I think I got my fill of people here for the next hour anyway, so I was good not to hit up Main Street at the party.
It's Star Traders.
Star Traders, yes, that's it.
That's the name. I wanted to get that clarified. But
Thank you.
It's a good one.
It is.
And wait, did you buy anything?
I did not. This trip, I did a lot of just looking and enjoying, but I tried to be practical, and I knew there wasn't a lot of things I'd use for. Plus, you get the free ornament, so I'd already gotten that, so I was covered. And I had my popcorn bucket.
I was going to say popcorn bucket. No, so forget that one.
Yes. So I was good, but it was fun to look at. And also, this is really terrible, fun to see what might end up at the Character Warehouse in a couple months. So, yeah.
Yes, true story. So from there, you went to get a spot for fireworks?
We did. So at 9:10, we decided to go, and our friends and their family very much fireworks show people, and so I was going to put on my big girl pants and do it too. I'm not a big crowd person. Like, as much as I love Disney, I like to be on the outskirts of a crowd. But we went right up in front of the castle, and so on the loop around the hub, we were on the castle side, so like closer to the castle, but on the curb. So when we were sitting waiting for the show, we were facing away from the castle, but like really, really good spot.
So if the castle's 12 o'clock, it sounds like you were at like 2 o'clock or something.
Yes, 1, 2 o'clock. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
It's good.
And so, yeah, we got there about 15 minutes ahead, had plenty of space, decided to sit kind of near a trash can so I could maybe have some artificial space for myself. So yes, the show is adorable. I forgot how cute that show is. And Megan reminded me, she's like, when they start with that cell phone song or that phone song, like you're a little worried about if it's going to be kitschy, but it's really cute. So we enjoyed it. Very good.
Good projections.
Oh, it's so like that is, as much as I miss the lights, I have to say, like, they really do go all out with the projections. And during things like that show, it was really nice.
Very colorful and fun.
Yes. And side note, my friends, we had a running joke about how many times I would cry on this trip because not a big every day-to-day crier, but you give me a movie or a show, I will absolutely cry. This show was the first one because The Muppet Christmas Carol is my favorite Christmas movie. And it feels like Christmas. They sang that, and I just started crying.
I'm so glad you got to take this trip.
Yes, it was fun.
Because it seems like it means a lot, yeah.
It means a lot, and just with the friends we were with, we were saying, like, if we weren't enjoying the ambiance or what we were watching, we were laughing. So it was a really good adults trip.
So you enjoy the fireworks?
Yes. So then show stayed in the same spot for the fireworks, and it was perfect location. Really enjoyed them. Side note, and again, it just became a joke when we were between the show and the fireworks. The idea was we were going to sit back down on the curb and kind of rest until it was time to watch fireworks. And I'm literally like getting ready to sit down, and this lady comes up and is like, "Excuse me, I want to sit here on the curb." And I was like, "Yes, me too." But it was one of those, I just let her, moved over with them. It was fine, but it was just really funny. So then the whole trip, we were saying things to each other like, "Yes, I would like to eat that piece of food you're about to put in your mouth."
Oh my gosh. I wish I had that audacity.
I do too, because it was, like 3 minutes to showtime. And she's like, "I'd like to sit there on the curb." Yeah, sure. Okay. But anyways, the over planner in me just, I think that's what kills me. I can't imagine just walking up last minute and doing that, but it worked out and she had a nice spot and I'm glad I could share it with her.
You were nicer than I would have been. I mean, I would have said, no, I've been waiting here a while. Like, you can go find a different spot.
So, no, mine was just to be snarky and be like, "Yeah, I was planning to sit there too."
You're like, I'm just going to choose peace right now.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we, at this point, even though we had a very relaxing time, we were kind of tired. And like I said, I think just being in the big crowd and having to walk after fireworks were over, like through the crowd, I think we were a little peopled out and ready for a little space. So I was like, I know the perfect spot for us to head, but we need to head there now for the parade so that we actually can grab it. Because side note, one of my employees is a former cast member and worked at Magic Kingdom, and we were talking about it before the trip. And we talked about this perfect space, which is going in front of Pecos Bill and trying to sit on the ledge. But I knew everybody would head there. So we headed straight there after the fireworks, and it worked out really well. On the part, not the main entrance, past the main entrance, where the steps down go into the side part, there's like a ledge on each side of the steps. And it was perfectly large enough for two people on each side. So we each took a side and had plenty of space and took turns doing a bathroom break and stretching and just relaxing until the parade.
And you get to see the parade first.
And we get to see it first. And there's not like a huge crowd. Even across the way, it was only like two people deep. And I don't know. I don't know if it's to the beginning. I think that obviously they keep energy the whole time, but like every single character that went by us was giving us full attention. So it was wonderful.
Where did you head after that?
We had a little time until our 11:40 Beacon Barrel. So we went.
I hadn't written that down. I forgot you were doing it.
Oh, yeah. So we went to Tortuga Tavern and Sunshine Tree Terrace to get more cookies to take home to the kids. And then we
souvenirs.
That's right. And then at 11:40 we had Beacon Barrel, and we checked in, I think like 3 minutes before that, and they pretty much were able to take us right away.
Mm-hmm.
And
your first visit there?
It was. So I had no idea what to expect other than what I've seen or heard from other people. So we were in the main bar room, and we had stool seating against like the wall, I guess is the best way. It's opposite the bar, which was perfect. It was enough room for the four of us. We got to sit. We weren't standing, and we got to watch all the action at the bar. So yeah.
And how was it?
It was fun. I enjoy the ambiance. I can't say, any bar like that's going to be batch drinks. So I can't say like the drinks were the most amazing thing I've ever had, but the ambiance, the experience, it was a lot of fun. And I think too, being there at the end of the night was nice because it's like everybody has like a different kind of energy about them at the very end of the night. So it was very nice.
And also I'm kind of picturing like the parade goes by and then you don't have too hard of a commute to get there.
No, in a sense, right? We just walked around the side out like in front of Pecos. If you come out of Pecos, around to the left, back in over towards Pirates. There were no crowds to fight.
Exactly. And if you had tried to go anywhere else in the park, it would have been difficult.
Yes. So we had an experience that was much more low-key. I was going for.
Yeah, exactly. You're avoiding those end of night crowds.
Yes.
So, okay, that schedule worked out great.
It did. So we probably, because it was the end of the night, I know it's a 45 minutes. I think we probably were there a little past 45 minutes because I have that we were leaving at about 12:30. And again, I mean, obviously party ends at 12, so there were still crowds, but that walk until we hit the hub was pretty darn empty, which was nice. And then even when we got to the hub, it wasn't what it would have been if we left with the parade. It wasn't shoulder to shoulder or anything like that. There were just some people doing the same thing we were, trying to get last minute pictures and look at everything before they headed out. So it wasn't bad at all. We got on the bus at 12:45, and I have that we were in the room, like having to get off the bus, go get our stuff from the car, bring it in. We were in the room by 1:10, and we were asleep by like 1:30.
And this was your first time getting to your room?
Yes. Yes. And it's funny, we had, I didn't mention this, but that morning when we woke up at the Hilton, because our kids had a no school day, all of our phones were going off at 5:30. So it was one of those where we're like, okay, it's 1:30 in the morning. Let's make sure our phones aren't going to make any noise this time around. So,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And were your rooms near each other by chance? Oh no, you're
So
in the same room.
We were in the same room.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Okay.
And
So
it
you were near each other.
Yes, yes. And it worked out fine. I mean, again, this is one of those trips we were rarely in the room. It was just, working out a schedule of using the bathroom, and that's about it. Like our friend Travis said, he's like, I wouldn't have known if you said anything in that room. Like as soon as I hit the bed, I passed out. I was so tired. So as far as sharing a room for this short period, not bad at all.
Okay.
'Tis the season for identity theft. This time of year, most of us are checking off our holiday gift lists. But guess what? Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on them. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second and alerts you to threats you could miss by yourself, even if you keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. And all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. The last thing you want to do this holiday season is face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other financial losses from identity theft all alone. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code IHEART. Or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
Chapter 10. Ronan's eyes widened as the moon enveloped their secret sanctuary. Go, he warned. I'm losing control. Luna defiantly stepped forward, tracing the scar across his jaw. Then lose it, she whispered. She was ready. She has Nexplanon. Adenogestrel implant, 68 milligrams radiopaque to prevent pregnancy. A non-daily prescription birth control for women that goes in your arm and not in your uterus. Don't use Nexplanon if you're pregnant or may be pregnant, have or had blood clots or certain cancers, have liver disease, liver tumor, or unexplained vaginal bleeding. Once the implant is placed, you and your doctor should feel for it. If at any time you can't feel the implant, contact your doctor right away and use a non-hormonal birth control method, such as condoms. Removal of the implant may be difficult or impossible if it isn't where it should be. While uncommon, ectopic pregnancy that occurs outside the womb, can occur, which can cause serious internal bleeding, infertility, and even death. You are likely to experience changes to your period. Ovarian cysts may occur and usually disappear. Nexplanon may raise the chance of serious blood clots, which can cause heart attack, stroke, or death, especially if you smoke or have other risk factors. Nexplanon doesn't protect against HIV or STDs. With less than one pregnancy per 100 women who use Nexplanon for 1 year, Nexplanon is over 99% effective, no matter the fantasy. Talk to your doctor. Call 1-877-467-5266 or visit Nexplanon.com for more information. Ask your doctor about Nexplanon.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... there, the last one. enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
So the next day was Saturday, December 6th, and the first thing I have is you had a breakfast reservation for your Candlelight Processional dining package?
Yes. So we woke up around 7, and I have that we were leaving the room at about 8:22 to head to the International Gateway.
So
And we
not
were
a lot of sleep.
not a lot of sleep. No, that's the theme. Not a lot of sleep here.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And we were walking into the park a little out after 8:30, so about 10 minutes between leaving the room and getting in. Because we were in at 8:30, I will say, I know I had mentioned pre-trip, we had a couple different things we were thinking about doing for our dining package.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to go with the 9 o'clock at La Creperie. So we had a little bit of time to play with, and I was like, we don't really, even though it was only like a 20-minute wait with Remy, I was like, we don't really have time to go regular line. I was like, but we could go single rider, which we did. And it was fun. This was my first time also with it being 2D.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just made a note because I thought it was interesting. Of the four of us, two of us loved it in 2D and two of us liked it better in 3D.
Mm.
And I will say,
Any of you get motion sick by chance?
so the person who gets motion sick liked it better in 3D, which kind of blew
Okay.
my mind.
That is confusing.
That is confusing. I was not shocked for me. So I'm a glasses person and I have trouble with 3D because, like, to put the 3D glasses over my glasses, everything's blurry, like everything. It doesn't matter. So I kept telling them I was blown away because I had not noticed a bunch of details before. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there are grooves in the floor from like it being worn. There were scuffs on their shoes, like just little things like that I didn't pick up before. So I enjoyed it much more in 2D. So.
And so what about single rider on that one? Because the lack of separation between you and the strangers.
It is tight. It is tight. It's funny. The guys ended up in the same, I always laugh when I say this, the same rat, but one was in front row, one was in back row. I think they ended up with like a parent and a kid because they seem to have plenty of room. I don't remember. Megan was the odd man out where like the three of us went and got put in a line and she had to wait a little bit. So I didn't see her setup. I was with two older ladies and I felt like they were very much snuggling to each other, trying to give me space, which I felt bad, but they were very nice. I do know the time before when I did single rider, when it was a little newer, the people were like very shocked when I got in with them. So this time around, at least nobody was shocked. But
yeah, I just think it's interesting when it's like that bench sort of setup.
It is. And especially like the bench and that it's a single bar. I mean,
Exactly.
it does make the whole thing a little awkward, but the ladies were very nice and they did not mind. So,
And you didn't have to wait.
and I didn't have to wait. So, I mean, in fact, we were off by 8:50 and I was checking us in for our 9 o'clock reservation. I'd never been to La Creperie. So I've always seen obviously what you can get at the window and kind of looked at it and thought like, oh, that might be nice sometime. I loved the restaurant. Totally different crepes in there from what I've seen out at the window. And I don't know if it's just like it's like very clean lines, like just the decor of it. And also that we were first thing in the morning at 9 o'clock. So like not a crowded restaurant when we got there. Very pretty to look at, very calm. It was nice. I was like, I need to remember that this is here.
It's nice. And then, you mostly booked it because of the Candlelight Processional dining package.
Yes, that is why I booked it. And it was funny because with that one, you have two options. So you could do the normal prefix, which is like a salad or soup, the savory crepe, the sweet crepe, and then a cider, I think is the regular prefix. For the candlelight, that was your other option. It was a savory, a sweet crepe, and then a drink up to like, I think he said something like $18 in value. I have no idea. So we ended up going with that only because at 9 o'clock in the morning, I really wasn't dying for a salad or soup. But I thought that was interesting that at least for, I think, the dining packages there, they offer either the traditional or a modified one, depending on what fits better for you.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So we kind of did the thing where at least my husband and I, we tried 2 different savory, 2 different sweets so we could share them. It was a lot of food. Like, I think that was the other thing I was not prepared for, was how much food it was. But it was very good, and we had a good time, and we were done by 10:10. So, yeah.
Where did you head at 10:10?
So we decided we were going to start working our way to the front of the park, going obviously through the rest of World Showcase, but up by the Imagination Pavilion, the Land Pavilion, the Sea Pavilion. So one of the things I had told them is if we saw any of the storytellers and we wanted to stop, we could do that. And so it kind of worked out. We caught the very end of Père de Noël, which he's very sweet. So it was fun to watch him for a little bit. And then we kept going to work our way to the front of the park. I will say the theme of this day it was a Dapper Days, which was totally fun to watch and see everybody in their beautiful dapper holiday outfits. But I have this feeling about festivals at Epcot with the crowds on weekends where, like, you get a lot of the locals and then you also have the regular guests. And it creates this very weird balance of, like, sometimes ride times can be way down, but like park crowd is huge. Or sometimes because park crowd is huge, it feels like all of a sudden, like, the wait times will just shoot up. So one of the things as we were working our way to the front of the park is wait times just kind of started going crazy. So that was one of the things we were watching as we were walking up to decide what we were going to do first.
Yeah, that is an interesting dynamic. Because I normally think as I'm walking through the park, I can kind of get a feel for how busy it is. And then when I look at the wait times, that's going to be what I expect. But in your case, yeah, it could be wildly different.
It was very different, yes. So we stopped to look at, I had no idea that Cincy had little stations during Festival of the Holidays. So we decided to stop and look at their little snow globes. And then we continued on, and Figment is always a reliable 5 minutes. So we jumped on Figment, which I say that in jest because he is one of our family's favorite characters. So, like, we ride Figment no matter what, but he is a reliable option when times need to level out.
And he dressed up for you.
He did. Oh my goodness. So cute. So sweet. I appreciate his little powder blue sweater. So we got done with that and headed over to the Land Pavilion. I had to jump and take care of something for work. They went to do Living with the Land. It was a posted 35 and they only waited 15. So perfect. They got to ride while I took care of something. And then this was about 11:15. We were going to try to do Soarin'. And it was one of those where it said 30 minutes. I was like, yep, I will absolutely wait 30 minutes. But we went to walk on and the line was all the way to the door. And I was like, this is not a 30-minute line. And finally, we heard a cast member telling someone, there's no way this is 30 minutes. Just so you know. So we decided to bail because I was not really wanting to see what was going on. So,
yeah. And I will tell you, your ability to eyeball it, to say, no, that's more than 30 minutes, or the opposite can be true. No, I think this is shorter. It's one of my frustrations for first timers.
It's like, because how would you know?
How would you know? I need to be a little more accurate with those.
Yes. And I get that, sometimes things go down and all of a sudden there's a big jump. But yeah, if you had no experience, there's no way you would know. I was glad that I had overheard somebody ask a cast member, and then they were being truthful with the time at least.
But also, they set the times.
Right. That's true. I don't understand that part.
Sir, can you please update it?
That's right. That's right. So we bailed and we decided to go to the Sea Pavilion, which this is where I was kind of foreshadowing. The times were getting wonky. Everything in the Sea Pavilion was already over 30 minutes. And I was like, I just am not interested. I don't know what's going on. We need things to level out. And nothing was down. That's the other thing. No ride was down. So I don't know what was going on. But we decided just to check out all the cute sea creatures and just take a little break.
Skip the ride.
Skip the rides. We were okay without them, but enjoy the ambiance there. Then at about 11:45, we wandered over to Communicore Hall, We did want to get some food, but again, this is one of those where the lines were completely full, both inside the hall and then the festival booth on the outside, completely full. So we were like, no, we're good. We did have good timing where the gingerbread spaceship Earth was doing its little show, like right when we came in. So we stopped and watched that, kind of could see Santa from afar, checked out the cute Figment merch that I restrained from buying any, and just kind of looked around. But definitely, I have to say it's just because of the Dapper Days crowd. Like it was getting crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
I never remember when it's Dapper Days. Like when you mentioned it, I was like, oh, they're so fun to look at. I never remember that they're happening.
I know. And I feel like I had seen, like I saw that somebody posted in a group on Facebook a while back, but it was one of those things like out of sight, out of mind. I didn't write it down. And then as soon as I saw everybody in their outfits, I was like, oh yeah, that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we then, I know I just said because of the crowds, but my husband was adamant he had to go to Canada. So he went and stood in line to get food at Canada, and we headed to Sweets and Treats to get some, I got a hot chocolate, and I think she got like a peppermint shake maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some food and drinks, even though I told you we were full, and enjoyed those for a little bit.
No, I have a rule that I can say I'm full and I still could eat dessert.
Yes.
Dessert stomach is separate.
I agree completely. So we got our nice little sweet treat and enjoyed just standing there by a trash can by the lake and taking a break to kind of see what the crowds looked like. Then at about 12:30, my husband and I headed to do our Guardians of the Galaxy individual lightning lane. And they went to Mexico to grab margaritas. So everybody was happy. I have that it was a posted 70-minute wait, but we were in and seeing Miss Sweet Glenn Close about 10 minutes later. So glad we paid for the lightning lane.
Mm-hmm.
I will make a side note just again, because I know for people who really get into the logistics of everything, I am an Enneagram 1 and I wing to 2. So I very much gauge my success of a trip based on checking boxes and people's happiness. And I've realized I gauge their happiness by checking their boxes. Like
it's a loop. It's kind of a loop.
Yep. Tell me what you want to do. I'll put it in the schedule. I'll make sure we do it.
Does that include checking your own boxes?
Some, Guardians, like I spoke up for myself. I wanted to do Guardians, and I fitted in the schedule well.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized on this trip, there were not really my typical boxes being checked. So my husband and I definitely had a moment where I was like, I don't know if this trip is going well. And he's like, we're having a great time. What are you talking about? And like talking through it, it definitely hit me. Like, oh, this is because it's not my typical type of trip. Like we're adults, we're laid back. We're not necessarily prioritizing rides or experiences, just being here. And I had to really reset my gauge on if this was a quote unquote successful trip. So
I think that's great insight. And I also think a lot of people might feel that way during their trips.
I would imagine. Yeah. It's just one of those where you kind of have to be like, okay, it's not quite what I'm used to as far as getting feedback, but it doesn't like we were having a fabulous time. And I even knew that, but it was just one of those where the insecurity in me was like, maybe we're not doing what I think we need to be doing.
Because your barometer for success is different than maybe other people's. But based on what you've said so far, I would have guessed you were having the best time.
Good. We were. I promise we were. It was just funny. I made a note that we had this like little heart-to-heart in the hallway on Guardians.
But I feel like you are checking off a lot of boxes. It's just maybe not as structured as you're used to.
I think that's what it was. And like I knew like we were only at 12:30. We had a long day ahead of us. And the feedback I was getting was like, oh, we can do whatever. Oh, like we're fine to walk. Oh, we're fine to do this or this. And I think I just started getting really nervous of like, okay, it seems like we have a long time, but the time we have until Candlelight is very short. And I can only do so many things in that window. And if we're just wandering around.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But your wandering seems fun.
It was fun. It was fun. I just needed a recheck and a recalibration, and we were good to go.
Okay. Good thought.
Yes. So I did make a note also, again, as far as rides, when we went into the pre-trip or the pre-show room, I could tell they only filled it like halfway. And I was like, oh gosh, what does this mean? And so when we came out into the hallway to go to the ride, we like immediately were stopped behind people. And I was like, oh no, does this mean something's down? I don't know if something had been down, like one of the sides or something. We moved quite quickly. Like I was very happy with the amount that we moved, but it was one of those where I was like, something had to be going on because they adjusted who they took in based on no room when we got off the pre-show. So
Less crowded. You don't like crowds.
that is true. I was perfectly happy with that. Perfectly happy. So we got done and we headed to find them. They had, like I said, grabbed a margarita, watched the mariachi band, watched some of the storytellers there and in Norway until we came to meet them. So this was at about 1:15. We headed in to do the Grand Fiesta tour, and it was a posted 5. We waited 4. I did make a note that we were sitting on the front of the boat, 4 adults, 4 grown adults, and 4 grown adults were sitting behind us. And when that boat came off the landing into the water, I thought for sure it was going under. Like it dipped so low. And it was just one of those where I was like, note to cast member, let's not put this many adults in the front of the boat.
Yeah. You would think they would spread things around a little bit, but maybe not.
It made it fun. It was something else that we could talk and laugh about. Like, hey, remember that time we
You put your,
boat?
put your poncho on.
That's right. That's right. So I enjoyed that. We got off. We decided we were just going to keep walking around. The idea was we were either going to just take our time and stay in World Showcase the rest of the day, or depending on how we felt, we might take a break and go back to the room, freshen up, come back before the 5 o'clock Candlelight Processional. So I think we got off and we were going to try to hit up a few places for snacks or drinks, and the lines were very crowded. Of course, there's some like squeezing points there as you come around the back of World Showcase. Crowds were very obvious. And so I think that's the point at which we decided, like, we're going to kind of work our way quickly to America and then probably reevaluate where we're at and decide what we're doing because it was getting really crowded.
And you were going to America for Voices of Liberty?
Yes. So they grabbed beers in Germany at 1:40, and there was a 2:15 show of Voices of Liberty. So they drank those as we walked and sat outside and drank those. And then at 2 o'clock, we went in to find a place to sit, which again, they've never done. They probably thought I was crazy that I was like, we need to get in here to watch these people sing. And they're like, I think it'll be fine. And I'm like, absolutely not. We need to get in right now. So
if you want the best seating.
Yes. And you better believe I made us all almost 40-year-olds sit on the floor right there so we could be under the rotunda and hear them beautifully. So this is the second time I cried. 2 out of the 3 times I cried. This was the second one. Or no, this was the third one. I had cried during the fireworks too. So 3 out of 3. But beautiful. The songs were just gorgeous and they really enjoyed it. Also, I had told them ahead of time, I was like, oh, just so you know, because when we were there with the kids, there wasn't a ton of time, right, to do all the kind of more adult things. And I had mentioned to them, like, I don't know if this is something you're into, but when we're there, like George W. Bush has some paintings inside that he did of veterans and that kind of thing. And I remember we went in and my friend Travis was like, no, those aren't his. And I was like, they are. And it was just really cute that he was like, really? So it was another nice little thing to kind of add that they wouldn't have known about and didn't get to see when they were with the kids.
It's funny that he didn't believe you. Like,
No, he totally didn't.
That would be a random thing for you to make up.
Yes, it totally would. But loved it, got out. My husband wanted to go try the catfish dish here in America, so he grabbed that. And we decided it was time to cut our losses. We had a long night ahead of us, and we were going to take a little short break. So at about 3 o'clock, we headed back to the hotel room. And we didn't have very long, but we figured get a little break from the crowd, freshen up, make sure we have with us what we need for tonight, because Jollywood not only was going to be a cooler night, but a very rainy night. So
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I'm glad
Jollywood and rain.
You're foreshadowing what I'm about to tell you.
Okay. But first, you had to go back to Epcot.
Yes, we did have to go back to Epcot. So I have that we left at about 3:45 from the room. Again, we were staying at Beach Club Villas, so we get to take that sweet little sidewalk on the side. It took us all of 10 minutes to get back into the park. We went straight to get in line. And while we were in line, we took turns going to the bathroom. The guys went and got some stuff from Japan. And I have that we were in our seats by about 4:30.
Okay.
And we were in the third row, a little off center, but pretty close to center.
And you have not seen Candlelight Processional before.
I have.
You have.
They had not.
They had
Yes,
not.
I have.
Okay.
They had not. Yes. And tonight was Ashley Eckstein, and she did a very wonderful job. It was fun. I knew this was a thing pre-COVID. I've only seen it post-COVID. So when I saw it, I don't think this had come back. But at our show, they had high school students as the general choir. So that was a nice little treat to get to see the high school kids participating. The other fun thing that I noted is because we were a little off center, we were right in front of the percussion. And because we were so close, it was a lot of fun to see all the different things they play and how they run around to do all the different instruments. I really enjoyed that.
Mhm.
I feel like the percussion, and this is somebody who's not, I adore music. I have no music talent, so I apologize to anyone listening. But to me, it seemed like they worked much more as a team. Like everybody else kind of has their own individual instrument, but they weren't necessarily, it wasn't like, these are the instruments I'm playing. Like sometimes one of them was, sometimes another one was. Like they very much traded off depending on what needed to be played during the song. So it was very fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if that's how it always works, though. In bands, high school bands.
It's a great question. I don't know the
Orchestras.
answer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, not a person that knows how to play an instrument.
So
But that's fun, though.
it was very fun. And at this point during the show, it was still beautiful out, wonderful show, nothing bad. The show ended right about 6. I have that about 6:05, we were heading to the Skyliner. And right when we got under the roofed area, the clouds just started opening up and pouring rain, just pouring. And I knew, I had told them, I was like, this is very much like a gamble for us to go to the Skyliner. I'm like, but let's just try it. Luckily, it was the right call. It did rain very bad, but it wasn't thundering or lightning, so they kept running it. Now, once we got on it, there was a bit of start and stop, but I wasn't sure if that was because of the weather or because they needed to load people. But when we got to Caribbean, we did take a bathroom break, so that messed with the time. But I mean, probably it took about 40 minutes, which I don't think is bad, but it definitely was pouring rain.
Yes. Eeks.
Yes. So we got out our ponchos before we headed out when we got to Hollywood Studios, put those on, and we tapped in at about 6:50. This was one of those where I think I had told you pre-trip, kind of the same thing. We were going to try to knock out some food and some rides before we switched to shows. We largely stuck to that, but it was wet. So we headed first. We decided to go into Hollywood Studios and head to Echo Lake and around, kind of making a big circle that way through Galaxy's Edge, through Toy Story Land, and then back out. So that's kind of what we did. We went and the guys rode Star Tours at 7, and we headed into the gift shop to wait for them. It was a posted 5. I think that's what they waited because it didn't seem like we waited long. Again, we were waiting kind of for the party times to officially start. So then we backtracked a little to Backlot and tried the party hamburger sliders, Brussels sprouts, and mac and cheese. And it was all very good. A little challenging because all of the inside seating was taken and we were outside covered, but it's only as covered as well as the wind allows. So we were getting a little wet, but not too bad at that point. Our spirits were still high.
But also, that's busy if all the indoor seating was taken.
It was busy. And so, I mean, I have that We probably were there like 40-ish minutes, 30, 40 minutes. We were happy to sit. It wasn't like we were dying to get out in the rain again, but it took a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Then Megan wanted to hit the hydraulics for the cold brew. And I made a note. So they stopped there to get a cold brew. I made a note that I started noticing that they were trying to put characters like in covered places. I think they did a wonderful job doing that. Like we never met characters, but I did kind of take note of the ones I saw in covered areas. What I saw when I went on Facebook later in one of the groups is a lot of people were saying like, yes, it's great that they did that and they still met, but like there was no good way to tell people where they were.
Mm-hmm.
So short of you just kind of wandering around to find them, I mean, at this point it's dark. I could see how if this was your first time, that would be very challenging.
Yeah, even the actual locations on there are not always accurate on the map.
That is true.
And then to move them, it's like, well, now where?
Yes. So they had moved them. It was dark. I don't know how you try to find them, but I did note that Goofy and Pluto were tucked up in the building across from hydraulics in that very tiny area that's covered. And I'm pretty sure they were supposed to meet closer to the walkway into Galaxy's Edge. So we headed over to Rise. It was about 7:45 at this point. It was a posted 20. And we were in the pre-show at about 12 minutes and on the ride in 30 minutes. So not bad at all. Gave us a break from the rain.
Exactly. I was going to say, time out of the rain.
Yes. And then after that, we jumped over to Smuggler's Run. It was a posted 15, but we essentially walked right on. I will note that at this point, because of the rain, especially when we were walking through Galaxy's Edge, our shoes just got soaked.
Did you bring multiple pairs just in?
I had not because, 2-day trip, haven't thought about it.
Yes,
No.
I'm a little nervous for you then.
Yes, we were getting very, very wet. The other thing I made a note of, because again, Megan does suffer from motion sickness. I think at this point we were all trying to make the most of it and have fun, but I think all of us in the back of our heads were like, this is going downhill really quickly. So we had rushed straight from Rise to Smugglers and never, like, we kept telling Megan, like, oh, don't you remember this? Don't you remember this ride? Don't you remember it from the summer? And she's like, I do not remember this ride. And we get on it and it like hit all of us. We're like, oh my gosh, what have we done? Like, she can't ride this. She's going to get sick. So luckily she was a gunner. I told her just to stare at the button and push the button when it lit up. And she forgave us. But it was pretty funny. We were like, that was terrible. Why did we do that to you?
Yeah. No wonder she didn't remember it.
Yes. Yeah, she didn't remember because she chose not to go on it the first time. Yes. So we got off that. And again, we kind of peeked at Chewie in his Life Day outfit and the cute little BDX droid. They were both in covered areas in Galaxy's Edge. But we were not stopping. It was raining and there was nowhere to be if you weren't trying to be in those lines. So we kept going. We got over into Toy Story Land and decided, I should say Slinky's down. Like Slinky was down all night. It did come up some, but for our purposes, it was down. So we decided to go to Toy Story Mania. It was a posted 30, but I have that we were walking off the ride by 9:20. So it was obviously less than that. And again, same thing. Like we were just happy to be out of the rain. I will also say poor cast members, like they had thrown down a ton of rugs in the line in Toy Story Mania. Like it was a mess. It did actually, I will say, stop raining at this point for a little bit. And it was 9:20. So we were heading up front. We decided Mickey and Minnie's was only a 20-minute wait. So we thought we probably had time to do that before Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. So we went there. It said it was a posted 20, but we walked right into the showroom and we were on the ride by 9:42 and off by 9:50. So that timing worked out really well. So again, as much as it was raining, it's not like it made ride times crazy. I think everybody probably just gave up on life because we do too here in a little bit.
But also, I don't know if rides were such a high priority for you
They weren't.
Okay.
They were not. They weren't. It wasn't really that. I think that played into it. Again, we had a good time. We made lemonade out of lemons. We enjoyed the rides. That wasn't originally what we were planning to do.
Yeah. You're like,
So-
just let me go inside for a half hour or whatever.
Yes. So I have at 9:50, we got off the ride and we decided to go grab a place for Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam because they were saying it was happening. So there were people out there, but we were able to stand a little left of center and had no problem being at the front of the crowd. So like it was not super crowded by any means. So we start standing there and of course decide to check the weather app and it's saying it's about to throw down again. It's about to just start pouring. So we were like, okay, do we stand out here and watch it knowing that then everybody's going to run for cover at some point? Or do we just completely pivot and bail? We pivoted and we headed to ABC Commissary ahead of the crowds. It was a good call. When we walked in, there were like no lines. We grabbed food and sat down. And because of, I guess, how the windows are in ABC Commissary, when the fireworks started going off, we could see them like through the windows, but obviously didn't see the show. But then it started pouring and people started flooding in.
And you're like, we beat ya.
We did. And I'm glad we did because the lines got long. Every table got filled up. The other thing I'll note is that they did start having characters like wander through. I don't know if they did that anywhere else, but I saw at the ABC Commissary, while we were there, Miguel was walking around meeting people. So again, trying to make the most of it. And I really appreciate that. And so it was nice if that's something that you wanted to do, that they were trying to do that.
Uh-huh. What a mess for everyone involved, the performers.
Well, and that's just it. And so kind of cutting through, like we're sitting there eating, we're soaked, our shoes are soaked, and we're like, yeah, we're pretty much done because it was going to rain the rest of the time. We could have gone to What's This or the Holidays in Hollywood because they're both somewhat covered, right? One's somewhat. But at that point, it was one of those, the longer you either stood in a line or sat, the more you realized how miserable you were.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like, no. And then I don't know that glisten happened at all. I tried to check in some of the groups to see what people were saying, and it looked like they said like it might have one time, but I think most of it never happened. So for them to even try logistically to make anything happen during this weather, kudos to them. It was a mess.
Mm-hmm. So then, is that where you decided to exit?
We decided we would head towards the front. We did kind of veer off and go back towards like Indiana Jones and Frozen where the theater is, because that's where party merch was. So we decided to check that out. And yeah, then we were out. We decided we were done. This sounds terrible. I mean, like we stayed longer than I thought we would. I have that we left at about 11. So, I mean, we cut it an hour and a half short.
You basically got like a half day at Hollywood Studios to do some rides. That's
exactly. We enjoyed some good party food, kind of saw Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, and yeah, half day rides.
Yeah. It's a huge bummer. I hate that.
It is. And like, especially because that was the second of our two like party days. Like it's sad that that's the one we ended on, but we all agreed we would do it again, and we would definitely do it again to have a redo of Jollywood.
Okay. Long day. I bet you had a lot of steps.
Yes, I have that we had 22,000 steps. The day before we had about 20, and this day we had 22. And I have it did take a little bit for the bus. And again, I know you've talked about this with people because we're a deluxe resort, they're sharing. And I don't know, I can't say it's always like this, but I guess because party night, it was swan, dolphin, yacht, then beach. So we were on the bus for a while, which again, when you're wet and miserable, it just felt long. But got in, got changed into dry clothes, set our shoes out to dry as best they could, and went to bed.
'Tis the season for identity theft. This time of year, most of us are checking off our holiday gift lists. But guess what? Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on them. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second and alerts you to threats you could miss by yourself, even if you keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. And all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. The last thing you want to do this holiday season is face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other financial losses from identity theft all alone. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code IHEART. Or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
Chapter 10. Ronan's eyes widened as the moon enveloped their secret sanctuary. Go, he warned. I'm losing control. Luna defiantly stepped forward, tracing the scar across his jaw. Then lose it, she whispered. She was ready. She has Nexplanon. Adenogestral implant, 68 milligrams radiopaque to prevent pregnancy. A non-daily prescription birth control for women that goes in your arm and not in your uterus. Don't use Nexplanon if you're pregnant or may be pregnant, have or had blood clots or certain cancers, have liver disease, liver tumor, or unexplained vaginal bleeding. Once the implant is placed, you and your doctor should feel for it. If at any time you can't feel the implant, contact your doctor right away and use a non-hormonal birth control method, such as condoms. Removal of the implant may be difficult or impossible if it isn't where it should be. While uncommon, ectopic pregnancy that occurs outside the womb, can occur, which can cause serious internal bleeding, infertility, and even death. You are likely to experience changes to your period. Ovarian cysts may occur and usually disappear. Nexplanon may raise the chance of serious blood clots, which can cause heart attack, stroke, or death, especially if you smoke or have other risk factors. Nexplanon doesn't protect against HIV or STDs. With less than one pregnancy per 100 women who use Nexplanon for 1 year, Nexplanon is over 99% effective, no matter the fantasy. Talk to your doctor. Call 1-877-467-5266 or visit Nexplanon.com for more information. Ask your doctor about Nexplanon.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
All right. The next day was your departure day, but you had some other stuff to do before heading to the airport.
Yes. And we stayed true to form, and we were up at 7 and left the room at 8. So
You have more energy than I do. That is 2 nights in a row of not very much sleep.
it was. And I have, so I had told you ahead of time we were trying to decide between Wilderness and Steakhouse 71. And we decided to go with Wilderness. I decided we should knock that out and then see what we could hit on the loop before we left. So I had canceled the other one. It was Whispering Canyon. Sorry, I had to blank there for a minute. Wasn't until like 9. So we got there, looked at all the pretty decor, walked around outside. I'll say, like, Geyser Point in that area on the lake is probably one of my favorite places in Disney. It's just so pretty and so relaxing. So again, it was fun on a kid-free trip to be able to take it and show it to them of like, oh, this is one of the other areas we like, and this is why. So that was fun. And then we checked out the gift shop and checked into our reservation at 8:45 and got seated at 8:52. This was fun. Our waiter's name was Phil, and he was like, do your friends know what they're in for? And I said, we've kind of warned them, but kind of not. So it started, with the typical, they threw the straws and the napkins at us. And my husband ordered a Bloody Mary, and it had a celery stalk that was gigantic. But the best part came when the food came. I ordered a skillet and so did Travis. Megan and Brandon just ordered regular meals. And like Brandon said, I don't think he thought it through because when the food came and he looked and he saw like the mound of potatoes he had, he was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to do it. And I was like, no, please don't. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to have to. So he asked for ketchup and we got all the ketchup bottles, but it was fun. Another funny side note is Megan and I had coordinated, and I can send pics. We coordinated a bunch of outfits and our husbands kind of made jokes about it the whole time. Brandon had not told me what he was packing on this trip, though he swears he did. He packed of the matching I Love You, I Know shirts from Star Wars. He packed the I Know shirt. I did not pack the I Love You shirt.
Oh.
So we were all in there to eat, and a waiter called him out immediately and was like, where's your significant other? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, yeah, she chose to match her friend and not me. So it was funny. But it
No,
just
but
added.
if he's going to do a couple shirt, he needs to make sure you're on the same page.
Exactly.
Well,
And
come on.
And it added to the just being picked on at Whisper and Canyon. So
Just him walking around with an I Know shirt all day.
that's right. But the other thing that happened during the meal was they did the cute little kids horse race with the little wooden horses, and they called out two sweet older ladies and made them do it as well. And it was so adorable. They were good sports about it. So fun meal and fun to show them something different that, again, during our June trip, we really didn't have time to hit these types of things.
But also, it's prettier now.
It is so pretty. Oh my gosh. The only thing though, they have like a little, like a little cabin gingerbread house.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. I swear it's not out when the shop isn't open. Like I swear it was not on the stand.
Huh.
So I don't know if I'm crazy. I don't know if I didn't look in the right spot, but it's right there where like you go to get drinks and stuff normally.
That's weird.
I don't know what was happening. So I was like, and there's a gingerbread house. And they were like, where is it? And I was like, I don't know. But that Wilderness Lodge is my favorite at Christmas. So very nice.
It's cozy.
It's so cozy. It is. And after our rainy night the night before, I think cozy is what we needed.
But where'd you go from there?
We decided we were going to head on boat over to Magic Kingdom and then go to Contemporary. So I have that we headed down to the boat dock and we were getting off at Magic Kingdom at 10:25. And then it was cooler this day. So we decided we would walk. Again, one of those things I kind of just wanted to show them is that sweet walk to the Contemporary. So we walked over there and we were over there by 10:40 and went and checked out their gingerbread castle and looked in the ships. And the castle is really pretty. I don't know that I remember it being that pretty in other years, but it spoke to me this year.
It spoke to you. Did you buy anything at any of these shops?
I did not. And that is a shocker for me. I can't say I always show restraint, but the popcorn bucket scratch that itch for me, I guess.
You've been into a lot of shops, but just browsing, it sounds like.
Just browsing. Then we hopped at about 11:20 on the monorail and we decided to skip the Poly and go to the Grand Floridian. Now, I did shop at the Grand Floridian. I did go in Basin and buy some things for Christmas gifts because, like, for teachers and things like that, my daughter's kindergarten teacher is a big Disney fan, so I thought, what a better gift.
Exactly. It's such a great spot for that.
Yes. So we did that, took some pictures, looked around. Obviously the new bar wasn't open, but they could see it and enjoyed all of the ambiance of the Grand Floridian, though, as I know you've said, glad we didn't stay there. Very crowded. So we decided to leave a little later. Like things got pushed a little later than I probably would have normally done. It was about 12:05 when we started back to the car. I originally wanted to leave around 12:30, which obviously that's not happening. And this is one of those where I probably didn't make the best decisions on our transportation back to Wilderness. We went back down to get on the boat at Grand Floridian. I knew it was going to go to the Poly before it went to Magic Kingdom. I still stuck with it. It took quite a while. So then when we got to Magic Kingdom, the line for the boat to Wilderness was pretty long. And I was like, what if they send a small boat? We can't chance this. So we went over to the buses and walked right on a bus. We're lucky that it went to the lodge before it went to Fort Wilderness. But it did end up taking almost an hour to go from the Grand Floridian to get to our car to leave.
That is a lot longer than expected.
Yes. So it was one of those where on the way to the airport, I had some thoughts about how I probably could have done that a little differently and paid a little more attention to time. But it worked out. We got to the airport at 1:30 and I should say, as a note, I made a very big mistake. It's one of those where I had grabbed everything out of the car and I had a bunch of things in my hands and I needed to consolidate down into my carry-on and my personal item. And I also needed to drop off the toll pass. So I dropped that off and headed over to the bench. We were in Terminal C. Headed over to the bench to put all my stuff into my bags. Laid my phone down. And when I left, I did not grab my phone. And when we got in the line to go through TSA, I said, "Where's my phone?" and started frantically hitting my Apple Watch, and it was not pinging. So the sweet people of MCO who were there on that day in Terminal C were very kind because they left my phone on the bench, and I was able to get it in 10 minutes, and that is the best outcome we could have had.
Yes. Thank goodness.
I had nightmares that it had been taken to Lost and Found and how long is that going to take? Am I just going to go home without a phone?
Or taken permanently.
Or just taken. Yes, taken.
So just leaving it there. Great idea.
Yes. So even with that, we were through security and sitting and having a snack 45 minutes before our flight. So even though it was a little exciting, it worked out. And then takeoff was smooth and fine. We landed at 5 and we were home at 8:30.
Home at 8:30.
Yeah.
And was it snowy when you got back?
So it had melted, but don't worry because then on Sunday night it snowed again.
You arrived in a pocket.
Yes.
Between snowstorms.
We did. And Megan's a teacher, so it actually worked out perfect. Her day she took off on Friday didn't count against her because it was a snow day. And then she got 2 more snow days when we got home. So she got to recover. The rest of us went back to work.
Yes. That is nice for her.
Yes.
Okay. So overall, really good trip.
Very good trip. Yes. Wonderful time.
I just wish it hadn't rained in Jollywood Nights.
It was a bummer, but I'm proud that we stuck it out as long as we could and we made the most of it and had a good time together.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to share amongst all of your busy activities, keeping track of it for us.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed hearing from Beth. We did keep talking on Patreon, including about her transatlantic cruise that she just returned from. I just did an episode about my cruise on the Treasure where I said 5 days is probably the perfect length for me. Transatlantic cruise, a whole different ballgame. So I was really curious to hear from her about how that went. And we continue to talk about that on Patreon. It's up right now in video and audio form. That is it for this episode of WDW Prep to Go. For more information, please check the show notes in your podcast app or head to the website, WDWPrepSchool.com. Click on podcast at the top, scroll down to episode 493. Until next time, I'll see you on the site.